Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't
Podcast
listen to this.
if you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18
16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
we're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
Don't listen to this.
can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If
do
you're
it.
18 and up.
Don't do it.
If you're 18 and
Yeah.
up.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Part 2
Of
OJ.
Orenthal James Simpson.
OJ. So in the first episode, we talked about his history, his football legend, his
Coming out of the ghetto.
rise
and-
to fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then leading up to the murders of Ron Goldman and Nicole.
Yes.
So we left you off with he got into
the
a Bronco.
Bronco.
Yeah, he got into the Bronco and he disappeared into the night. Not the night, but
The
the
morning.
day. Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah.
He disappeared into traffic.
that's right.
I just kind of picture like the Bronco, that scene, you know, and
I know,
on the
right?
freeways.
I
That's just kinda
know,
like
like
how we
in
remember
left-
that?
The,
left it
the
off.
helicopters. Like,
Yeah.
fucking-
Do you remember that?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
How old were you in 94? This is mid
14?
14, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 12.
Yeah.
Sean was 1.
I wasn't. I was like 6.
Yeah. I remember our school stopped
Yeah.
what we were doing and like pulled the TV in and all that stuff. It
And you
was
just
crazy.
watched the car drive as they followed it.
I think I just watched it at night or something. I don't remember
It
exactly.
was long. It was not, it was hours.
So it was still going on, I
yeah,
guess, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was hours.
And then didn't it stop? He just like ran out of gas or something. they didn't deploy spike strips. They
There's,
didn't do anything.
there's,
It
a,
was
there's
just
a
like,
note in here where one of the news helicopters ran out of gas because it took so
it
long.
took so long to like, shit, we had to turn back.
Yeah. Okay, he was about to be arrested for murder. He was supposed to turn himself in. He didn't. He was at Kardashian's home, Robert Kardashian's home, and he slipped out the back with, remember, AC.
Yes.
And AC and him.
Childhood friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, and of course, you know, he only hits up AC in this type of situation. So, hey, come to my house in Brentwood. He's like, I need you to drive.
AC, you might ride or die or what?
I know. I haven't talked to you in 15 years. What are you talking about?
You ride.
You ride or you die.
So per some reports, when OJ was at the house and getting ready to be arrested or go turn himself in, he was losing his mind. He was losing his mind. He's about to go in and he was,
Coming down on the meth highs wearing off.
Coming off the meth.
So he actually wrote a letter, and this letter was, a lot of people thought it was his suicide note.
Oh, it's not
He's
worth
done.
it.
Yeah. And so Kardashian read it at a press conference at 5:00 that day. And he says, first, everyone understand I had nothing to do with Nicole's murder. He described the fights with Brown and their decision not to reconcile and asked the media as his last wish not to bother his children. He wrote to his then girlfriend, Paula, remember the model?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're not going to have our chance. As I leave, you'll be in my thoughts. He said, I can't go on.
Definitely
he apologized.
sounds very suicide-y.
Oh, yeah.
He apologized to the Goldman family.
Ooh.
At the end of it, he said, don't feel sorry for me. I've had a great life, great friends. Please think of the real OJ and not this lost person.
See, it almost seems like it's like an admittance.
Yeah.
Like it's like admitting
half
it.
suicide,
So
half confession.
Here's the super part that got me really annoyed. He signed it OJ Simpson, and in the O, he did a smiley face.
What the fuck?
Why?
So
what does that mean?
unnecessary.
I don't get it. Why did he do that?
It pretty much is. That's what the smiley face is like. Fuck. It's like fuck yeah.
Yeah, like fuck yeah.
All right, I just don't understand why he would put a smiley face at the end of that. It just it drove me crazy. It's almost like a weird
I
thing.
think it's telling. It's telling. It's I'm so sorry. Oh, after I'm
everything's
gone.
fine.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So everybody thought it was a suicide note, right? So much so that Kardashian went and told the kids and the mom he's going to kill himself. That's what's happening.
And when the lawyer read it, was the chase still going on? Right?
Just started.
Oh,
It just
okay.
disappeared. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So news helicopters searched the LA highway system for the white Bronco at 5:51, so 51 minutes later. Apparently, OJ called 911, and the call was traced to Santa Ana Freeway. At around 6:20, a motorist notified the California Highway Patrol seeing somebody on the I-5. heading
Imagine
north.
being that guy. Yeah. I fucking found the Bronco.
At 6:45, Ruth Dixon was a police officer, saw the Bronco heading on the 405. She caught up to it. AC yelled out that Simpson was in the back seat pointing a gun to his own head and that he was going to kill himself. The officer backed off, but followed the vehicle at 35 miles an hour.
I know they're going so slow.
Eventually, 20 police cars came and was following him at 35 miles an hour on the freeway.
Oh my god.
And the
So
freeway,
what
and the
you were
freeway's like
talking about.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about, where it was just super. It wasn't even really a chase. It was like a slow
It was just like it was just
crawl. Yeah.
A little trot, a little follow.
trot, the police trot.
So this created a frenzy in America. This created a insane
Action
frenzy.
news
Yes.
reporting.
9 helicopters showed up.
So many.
It was everywhere. And then all of a sudden people started going, okay, he's going up the 405. So then thousands of people were going and meeting and hanging out on the bridges, making signs and going, go OJ, go. And like just all sorts of craziness.
I just never understood people who do that type of thing.
I know.
You have nothing else to do.
They want 5 seconds of
Like,
fame.
I just wanna-
Maybe I come out in a chopper news camera.
Yeah, if I'm in a chopper, okay, I'll do that. But yeah, just sit on the side of the freeway for 1 second and be like, yeah, go AJ, go. All right, let's go home. He passed us. Like
Insane.
idiots. People are dumb.
Insane. So what's crazy too is going on at the same time was the NBA Finals.
Oh yeah.
And it was the Knicks against the
last-
Rockets. Yeah, the Knicks against the Rockets.
This really dates
It was
this.
Like, it was
in
like,
the finals.
I know, right?
It was Patrick Ewing and I forget who else in the Rockets. Whoever else was on the Rockets. Also playing his last round of his entire career was Arnold Palmer. So this was hot. Sports was on, right?
Oh yeah.
They changed it.
We cut to this break.
Okay, so the NBA
we bring you
finals.
breaking news.
The NBA finals were on, and they
That
didn't
is
know what to
crazy.
do.
That is
so they
crazy.
put a box. They
Oh, like,
changed it.
like picture in picture.
Yeah, so they changed it to the main screen was OJ
and
running.
the finals,
and
like,
the
in a-
finals was in the little square at the bottom.
I'd be so pissed.
It was insane.
Wow.
Reports came in that 95 million people watched the chase.
It's like ratings. That's why maybe the conspiracies all set up. We're gonna need you to do a chase,
Yes.
and it's gonna need to
And
last for 7 hours.
Just
we need ratings.
just
so
so you know-
bring in the chase.
Just so you know, the Super Bowl that year was 90 million.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
That's so, like a Mentos commercial comes on. Like, Mentos freshness.
What if a Hertz commercial with OJ in it comes out?
Hertz commercial.
Probably did. I wouldn't be
Like,
surprised.
He's like, I gotta run.
Hertz is, I'm gonna need to capitalize on this
I
right
know.
now.
They're like, play it now.
So it became like a festival, like a circus.
Yeah.
Like it was just thousands of people everywhere. It's insane.
The best time of my life.
Anyways, people were yelling, "Go OJ, go!" And
See, they fuck these people. They didn't know what was going on. They're just
I
like,
know it's the crazy part. It would be kind of like, I don't know. Give an example. Maybe I don't want to say Brady, but maybe. No, not quite Brady.
It'd be crazy.
Maybe.
It'd be mad. There'd be
But who else is that famous?
a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Brady's up there.
Superstar football
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
retired.
I just can't see Brady. Like,
No, I know, but that's what everybody thought.
Killing
I can't.
Giselle.
Everybody
That's true.
thought at the time.
That's true. They're like, no, it
No,
can't
he
be.
didn't.
That's true.
This is not happening right now. It would actually.
I think that was part of the persona that he built when he got out of the hood. And he was
Yeah.
Right.
trustworthy, to beat my wife at night, and was fucking stand-up guy in there in the day.
Oh my god.
So Simpson reportedly demanded that he be allowed to speak to his mom before he surrendered.
Okay.
So eventually they made their way back to the house, and then they parked in the driveway of the house. And they sat there for 45 minutes, just sitting in the driveway. Yeah.
When did he call his mom?
He said he was going to go inside.
And they were like, nah,
Yeah,
that's not gonna
that's gonna be a big
fucking
no.
fly, bro.
There were 27 SWAT members there just chilling, waiting. He walked out of the car at 8:50 p.m. with a family photo, went inside for about an hour.
He did. They let him inside.
What?
They let him inside. He went inside for an hour, and a cop said that he spoke to his mom and he asked for a glass of orange juice as a joke.
He's making fucking jokes.
Yeah. And when he walked in, he said, "I'm sorry" to all the cops, and he said, I didn't want you to get anybody to get hurt. This was all for me. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Anyone to get hurt? Who the fuck got hurt besides his
No,
murder?
meaning I don't know. He's just trying to apologize. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah.
he's
My
just,
thing is,
you know,
how would they
never-ending.
let him in his
let
own
him do
for
so
an hour?
many
They just let him do
things.
anything he wants to.
Honestly, if you were being chased,
they would have fucking
would've
shot
you.
me through the
Yes.
fucking. They would have sniped me off one of the bridges instantly. Just put me
first
down.
off, they would take your tires out and they would put their car in front of yours
I know.
and then shoot you.
and then shoot me to death.
Yeah.
And then they'd have been, the gun that he was pointing at his own head, they was pointed at me. That's why I had to kill him.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, but if we're chasing Sean, we're not going to be on national TV with 90 million people watching.
I don't know. You could maybe 40 million.
Maybe I could pull 40. But that's part of it. They're not gonna, they're not gonna do anything while everybody's watching. So
That was the
like
thing.
They want to diffuse the situation.
That's what I kept noticing is that a lot of the cops were, I'm not going to shoot O.J. Simpson
I know.
Yeah.
They're like
That's
my
the other
career's
thing.
over.
live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that probably contributed to probably a lot of the fuck ups.
Yep.
What
Yeah.
they didn't know what to do. They'd never been in a situation where there was someone so high profile.
Yeah.
There's so many cameras. Everyone's afraid to do it. You're afraid to make a mistake, so mistakes just happen because
Right.
you're too afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in the Bronco, this is what they found. The Chase Bronco. Yeah. $8,000 in cash.
Just cause.
Okay. A change of clothing, a loaded .357 Magnum, his passport, family photos, and a fake goatee and a fake mustache.
Because that's really gonna hide. But his passport says orange all
Obviously, he wasn't going to kill himself with a fake
No.
mustache on.
Yes.
I don't
What
want my
is he
family to see
doing?
my family.
The juice was running.
It's running.
He wasn't trying to kill himself. Come on.
The juice was running.
Juice is running, man. Let's be honest.
The juice was running.
Okay, so he was then arrested finally.
Finally.
Arrested and booked.
Book him, Dano.
Also, AC was booked on suspicion of harboring a fugitive.
I mean, it wasn't really suspicion. It was,
Yeah, I know. Whoa.
you were.
Not that suspicious.
Before we jump into the trial now, because now
Okay.
he's arrested, et cetera, right? I wanted to touch on something that I thought was important, which is 3 years earlier, there was a guy, and his name was Rodney King.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Okay, so 3 years earlier in LA, yeah.
Right.
At 1 a.m, Rodney King stopped his car after leading the police on a kind of semi-quasi chase for about 8 miles. It wasn't really a chase.
It wasn't like an OJ
but
chase.
it was like, yeah. I mean, 8 miles is still a distance.
That's fuck yeah, it is.
It's like when you hear the you're not going
I'm
8
going
miles.
like 80 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find a place to pull
right.
over. Like,
You're not going to go, I'm going to go to 8 miles. I'm going to go to St. Pete real quick.
yeah.
So he gets pulled over. His name's Rodney King, right? And he was a parolee for being charged for robbery. Okay? He was drunk.
Probably.
No, he was.
proven.
Like he was drunk. That was why he was pulled over for drunk driving, right? Okay. He refused to pull over. The LAPD cruisers and police helicopter joined the pursuit, and he was finally stopped. Several police cars descended on his car. Okay. A group of LAPD officers led by Sergeant Kuhn ordered King and his other two
What a name.
occupants. I know,
It's the irony. It's
I know,
like
I know.
it's out of control.
So they said, get out of the car. King himself was slow to respond. He got on his hands and knees rather than lying flat. You know how they say, lie flat. He got on his hands and knees. Officers Powell, Wind, Solano, they tried to force him down, but he resisted. So he was in that mode, I'm not getting on the floor. And he's just bent, but he's kind of on the floor. You know what I mean?
It's already like on the floor.
Yeah, and you're all right, there's 5 white cops right above me. You should get on the floor. Anyways, yeah. So they tased him. Okay, with an electric stun gun, 50,000 volts, right? They tase him down. He gets down. Okay, at this moment, a civilian named George Holliday started filming from his balcony.
Dude, I've seen the
You've
film.
seen it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's disturbing.
In the first few seconds of what was an 89-second famous video, King is seen rising after the tase shots and running in the direction of one of the officers. The officers allege that King was charging him, but King himself later claimed he was told that we were going to kill you.
N-word.
There you go.
Well, I could say it, but
He tried to flee. All the arresting officers were white, all of them but one. With the helicopter above, you couldn't hear anything on the video.
yeah.
So he just started getting beat.
Dude, they beat the fucking shit out of him, dude.
They just
With-
kept beating him.
with the
Batons.
sticks,
with the
right?
batons,
Nightsticks.
dude.
Yeah,
They were
nightsticks.
batoning his
Yeah.
ass.
Hitting him on the side of the head, knocking him to the ground, all on video.
I mean, the only thing I've seen that's on par like with that is I don't know if you saw the videos in that what happened in Baltimore
Oh,
or whatever,
yeah.
like with those cops. Granted,
Yeah.
like all those cops were black
On the
cops.
neck. On the neck. He died?
Yeah, he died. So it was a task force. I think it was in Baltimore or something like that, right? I think so. They were like holding him. He's standing up with arms
Yeah.
on his back, and then dude just comes up, haymakers him, and then
I saw this one.
And they
Yes.
fucked, and he died.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I mean, granted, it's different. Like all those cops are black, and there's a black guy, but dude, it was so
Still,
brutal.
it
It was
was-
so
it was-
fucking brutal.
Yeah, because
heavy brutality.
It was
yeah.
super brutal.
Definitely, and I don't know if you're going to get into this, but, very racist, and whereas the other one's just police brutality.
Yeah, that was
like-
just like, in general,
Yeah.
and then this
Yeah.
one was
This is 12 white dudes
Yes.
No,
beating
this
a
is-
black guy. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot here.
So I mean, I see the relevance.
Repeated blows. He was hit so many times. He was hit 56 times.
That's some.
God damn.
How did?
I mean, so
That's obviously way
It's like
past
so
resistant
I
arrest.
know,
This is
it's like
fucking-
50 times. Jesus. There's the resistance is over.
Yeah.
Like
an ambulance was called and King was taken to the hospital. He suffered fractured leg, facial fractures, bruises, contusions. They had no idea that it was being filmed, so the cops downplayed it. Saying it was a minor. Hey guys, hope we're enjoying the show so far. We wanted to take a break and just remind you of the different ways that you can support our podcast. The first and foremost is you can subscribe by clicking the follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. It's on the show page. It's really easy. You just click it and subscribe. What this does is it makes it so you get notified every new release that comes out. Another way is by simply following us on social media. This is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. But one of the best ways that you can support our podcast is to help us grow. And how do you do that? You can share the show with friends and family. Okay, thanks a bunch, everybody. Now back to the show. nature.
Just a few
There was like
scratches.
a couple. I whipped up Todd. I was like, "Don't make me do
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
And like a little tap tap. He was good.
Yeah, it was a normal pullover.
No traffic stop.
Traffic stop, a little infration, a
Gave
little
him a
citation.
citation.
Little citation.
A little citation.
I mean, he resisted a little bit, but I told him,
It's
hey,
LA.
don't do that.
I was like, listen, I'm trying to get home.
Yeah.
I know you trying to get home.
So bad. So George Holliday, he sold his video of the beating to a TV station,
For like $60.
and then it
Before
was,
TMZ.
and then they sold it to CNN, and CNN broadcast it, and that's when things got out of control.
Yeah, oh yeah, shit went
And,
fucking real.
He was released without charges, Rodney King, right? So then the officers, when the video came out, they were indicted.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So they were indicted and then they went to court, etc. All 4 of the officers, the main ones, were charged with assault with a deadly weapon and excessive use of force.
And what happened?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
It fucking enrages me. Like,
So on April 29th, 1992, the 12-person jury issued its verdict, not guilty on all accounts.
yeah.
Like, just look at the video, bro. I mean, come on.
Anybody
Like,
can see that video.
That was bad.
It's
And
so
fucking
bad.
come up with the same answer. They are
That was
guilty.
bad.
I mean,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
bad.
they did not have to do that.
Any charge?
Like none.
Nothing.
What do you get? Like a bad conduct at work? Low performance?
You get
They're
written
like,
up.
that wasn't assault.
Yes.
Do you think that was not?
Yeah,
No, not,
yeah.
that's not assault.
Okay, so Sergeant Kuhn, your performance this quarter was less than par.
No,
Nothing.
They're like, no, exemplary.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
exemplary.
Yeah. So those acquittals, that started the LA riots.
That's when it all started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So arson, looting,
Started burning down the city, man, for
60
days.
people were killed
Yeah.
over 3 days.
Wow.
See, I never understood.
Which one was worse? That riot or riots?
That riot.
That was
LA
worse.
riots, way worse.
I don't know, dude. Half of Wisconsin got burnt to the ground.
What? No.
Yeah.
LA
What do you
riots
know?
were
Are
way-
you kidding me?
60 people died.
How many people died during these?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go?
You want to put some money on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that
The 2020 riots.
it was less deaths?
Yeah. Okay, so let me just run you through it real quick, right?
okay.
So in 3 days of violence, more than 60 people were killed, 2,000 injuries, $1 billion in property damage in 1992. $1 billion, which is like 28 billion now. Thanks,
Plus inflation.
thanks to
$14
fucking-
trillion
yes.
worth of damage.
On May 1st, George H. W. He had to call in the military to quell the,
The unrest.
yes, the unrest. So it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Still, I think it was.
I just-
What? The quote unquote riots in 2020.
It's like
Yeah.
all that kind of
It
stuff.
wasn't because-
happened.
you're right, it wasn't-
Nationwide is madness.
That's what I'm saying. Nationwide.
Nationwide.
Dude,
So
It
it's
was
multiple-
like different
you
cities.
take all the cities, combine them
Yes.
into a pool,
no, dude.
then add it all together.
There's hundreds of billions of dollars a day. Like there's buildings. If you look, there's actually. I saw this guy do this thing. He pretty much took like Google Earth images of a lot of these places in these major cities, and then the today thing now, 3 years later, and those businesses are done,
Yeah.
and the businesses are toast. It just ruined Minneapolis. Fucked. Fucking Wisconsin. I forget which city it was in Wisconsin, dude. Fucked. And nobody wants to do business there, so it actually ruined the economy of a lot of these cities.
That's
like,
true.
and they'll never recover.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's worse because like LA recovered and LA, well, there's too many people for it not to recover. It has to. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
Portland was another huge one.
oh yeah, Portland, yeah.
Well, I think maybe I guess the main point is that it was in a condensed area, so
It's-
it looked like a war.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
it
it
was
was
bad.
all of it condensed into.
I would not want to be.
know what I mean?
I am not dark enough to be walking on the street and that shit. They totally. This thing I was like a tan, like just a
Mexican.
No, yeah, me and Jorge, they're like
Yeah.
fucking get it.
So anyway, so I bring that story up because LA was kind of at a boiling point.
Oh,
and
dude,
this happened,
Very
and this is
racially
their this is
tension-
Charged.
yeah, this is one of their
charge, yeah.
black. This is a black hero.
Who?
Yeah.
OJ.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I
see.
mean? And
I
it's
thought you were
like-
talking about like Rodney King. I'm like pretty sure no one knew who he was.
Yeah, no.
Like,
No, and I just thought
Poor
it was.
Rodney.
I thought it was strange because, at the beginning of the trial, there were so many people who were saying that he's being abused by the cops.
he's got the
And-
royal
right?
treatment.
And that's what confused me because there's so much evidence that he was actually treated
Better than any other criminal ever.
Yeah, exactly. So it just is strange and a strange element.
I
And
think
so,
I think it just the fact that it was just automatically assumed that he was.
Yeah.
And I think that probably had a lot to do with, especially at that time, with all this, I guarantee that had a sway with the jurors. That's in your mind. That's in the back of your head. I don't agree with fucking this racist shit. He seems like a nice guy to me. I'm not trying to say I'm not going to be the one to say this black dude's murdering people.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll dive into more, especially when he brings on Cochran, Johnny. And he was the lawyer. He was famous for going against police brutality towards black and minorities. You know what I mean? And so he's
very, very well known for that.
Yeah. So July 8th, 1994. Yeah. There's a preliminary hearing, and it ends with the judge, Kathleen Kennedy, ruling that there is sufficient evidence to prosecute OJ, and he must stand trial for first-degree murder. Okay. July 22nd, OJ stands in front of the judge and it says, absolutely 100% not guilty.
Smiley face.
Yes.
Fucking dick.
Smiley face. Why, OJ? Why? Why did you do it? Okay, so at that time, the judge is assigned to the case. Judge Lance Ito. Do you remember Judge Lance Ito?
Yeah. I remember the name.
Yes, yeah. By September, the DA files to sequester the jury. So if you don't know what sequestering a jury is it means they are removed from society.
They have no contact with the outside world.
That's right. So
they don't get like swayed by media.
Yeah. It was such a media-driven trial that they were, okay, the only way to keep this as fair as we can is to sequester the jury.
So they basically live in a hotel, right?
Right.
Everybody stays together. Everybody goes to trial. Then
they're not allowed to talk about it. They're not allowed to talk to their peeps about it. Or at least they can call home and talk to their family, but they can't talk about the case.
They're not allowed to talk about the case?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine the frenzy with the Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah.
And like that.
Oh, yeah.
Even I watched that shit, dude.
Yes.
But imagine that on crack.
I know. Just and a murder.
And it's murder.
And racism.
Just imagine the entire planet's, I gotta see.
I know.
Shit.
Yes. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So November 3rd, the jury panel was selected, and it was selected 8 black people, 1 white person, 1 Hispanic, and 2 mixed.
I thought it was supposed to be even Stevens.
Well, the trial was held in downtown LA. So the pool there is more.
Stevens. No, it's just whoever
It's
they
the
pick.
selection too. Yeah. So the county that you're in, if you're 50% black, the odds are you're going to get more black people.
Yeah, the odds are sure.
So,
I think
the county is heavily.
But there's no law or stipulation that says it has to be a certain amount or whatever.
I don't know. I just expect.
No.
I just was thinking I was thinking like racially charged thing. Like maybe they.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of bias. I don't know.
So what's interesting is they do. So they do a process where the prosecution can select and cancel.
Yeah, they can
jurors.
They can veto jurors.
Yeah, and so they go, okay, I have the choice between Jorge and Sean. Okay, I have a black man from Ohio or a Mexican from Texas and Mexico. Okay, the case is against a black man. Okay, I'm
Jorge
probably...
it is.
No, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can decide, and they go, okay, well, I can only... Or Eric, the white guy.
Yeah.
So if you have 1 veto, who do you get rid of out of us
Eric.
3?
Yeah.
100% vetoing.
Probably me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
For sure.
So then you have to deal with whatever. But what's interesting is the prosecution was thinking that black men were actually a deterrent.
What do you mean?
Well, because they thought that OJ was not
representing
them anymore.
Oh, because he was like, I'm out. Fuck you guys.
Yes.
I'm Brentwood.
I'm rich.
Yes.
Look at my white woman, bitch.
So they got rid of a lot of black jurors, men, black men jurors. So a majority of these are women, black women.
And you would think the women might be more sympathetic to.
I know. I think so. Anyways, it's just
vicious murder of a woman.
Yeah. So, anyways, it is what it is. Whether whoever was right or wrong, I don't know. You know,
I totally think that
it's a strategy. I don't know.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think it honestly shouldn't matter. But I was only brought it up just because at that time with what was going on with the Rodney King thing, I can imagine it being really everyone's on edge. You know, this is going to be definitely come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about Mark Furman.
Yes.
We have a lot more here to go over. Mark Furman. I'll have Sean do it.
Yeah.
So Mark Furman is a police officer. Yep. Mark Furman was a police officer in LAPD, and he was one of the first people on the scene of the murder.
Wasn't he the one that's...
He was one, I know him.
I know him. I know the next of kin or whatever. I'm going to go, yeah.
He's also the one who found the gloves.
Right.
Damn it. That was our first mistake.
Okay. Yeah. So a big, huge thing that blew up in the trial was that Mark Fuhrman was a
scathing
vehement, dirty racism. Like bad. So at the beginning of the actual trial, the prosecution and the defense were arguing over whether it had anything to do with the trial. Just
like
because a guy says
the N-word.
Yes. Does it mean that he didn't find the glove?
True. But I guess they'd be worried, like, will he plant it? Yeah.
There you go, right? So the judge ultimately decided to allow it.
But see, the only thing about that, because one of the gloves was in the crime scene.
That's right.
Yep. Which he didn't find.
Yeah, he did.
He found both gloves?
Yeah.
Oh, both?
He found both gloves.
Okay. If he didn't find the first one and then he found the second one, how did he...
Well, I mean...
I just happen to have the exact...
Yeah, how did I plant it?
But here's the thing. I don't want to say he found it. So if you arrive with three detectives...
Okay, it wasn't him alone.
Yeah.
But him alone found the second one. That's
right.
That's my point.
That's right. Correct.
How would he have... unless he killed her... Then he's like, I just so happen to have this other glove handed down. Like,
extra large isotoner.
I know, isotoner glove with blood on it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, so January 24th, 95, they deliver their opening statements. Johnny Cochran delivers his opening statement. February, the jurors take a field trip and they go to OJ's home.
To take a fucking field trip.
Yeah, and what's
Get on
funny?
the bus.
What's funny is in other documentaries, the prosecution says that Johnny Cochran, and the defense, they changed his house to make him look more black.
And they put up like...
Oh, yeah?
So he had all these pictures of him with
his mom and
Don Daly and, white guys and white people and
like
white
the president.
George Bush.
I know,
and,
exactly.
and blonde chicks and spring break. All that shit, right? And so then when they went and did the tour, it was, African leopard prints. And you know what I mean?
Like,
I don't know.
And it's like drums and shit instead of the golf pictures, all basketball.
Yes. And I don't mean to. I'm not being insensitive. I'm saying it was extreme.
No, they did it. They did it on purpose.
Yes, there was a woman with African earrings, and you know what I mean. It was extreme.
When we all know like that shit was not. He had to buy a fucking piano.
Yes,
yes,
all this like weird shit.
But in essence, it was trying to make him more black.
See, isn't that weird?
And they were playing the race card,
like tampering with tampering with a potential crime scene. I don't know.
Or at least the imagery of a person, right, and who they really were.
No, I mean obviously
that's
like,
not tampering.
But that's not the crime scene. The crime scene is Nicole's house.
I understand, but I'm saying it does seem like manipulation. Like for example, so let's say I'm a vehement drug addict, and let's say that's a part of this crime and whatever, and let's say for somebody that has something to do with it, but. Before they come and see my house, they clean it up and they put a bunch of pictures of the kids and make it all tidy, as opposed to fucking crack pipes and shit on the floor.
Yeah, it's like look at this derelict how he lives.
No, it's just painting. It just seems like
it's manipulation.
It's manipulation.
Sure.
It's not illegal, but it's manipulation.
It's not illegal.
It changes the character of the person.
Yeah. It's just how you view them.
If anything, is fucking smart on
honestly,
on the
that's
lawyer's
Johnny
part.
Cochran.
Yeah, I know, right?
The ballin'. So on March 15th, 1995, Detective Mark Fuhrman, cross-examined by defense attorney F. Lee Bailey, denies using the word nigger at any time in the previous 10 years. So on May 10th, the DNA testimony begins. June 15th, Simpson tries on the bloody gloves, the classic moment. They seem not to fit. And that's what I always...
So let's talk about the glove for a second.
Yeah, please, because I always fucking had to think about this.
I know.
Okay. So first off, why did they have... First off, I think it was a fuck up that the prosecution even had him try the gloves on.
Yeah.
Why do you even need to have the guy try the gloves on?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Second, they're covered in blood for a year.
I know, like shrinkage.
Have you ever put gloves
in water?
Okay, here's a great example. I don't know if you guys golf much, but my golf gloves, after 1 year of use, they turn into a shriveled,
like a raisin.
Literally, I can't even put my fingers in them anymore. And it's from sweat.
Yeah.
Just imagine blood.
Yeah, same shit. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's from being wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another point. He's wearing latex underneath.
Yeah.
Latex. It makes your hands fatter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's also like the glove actually. Well, it's not. He physically couldn't get his hand in the glove. It's the glove was on, and it's like, oh, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
just doesn't fit real nice.
It's a little bit too tight.
I'm not saying he's a good one, but he's an actor.
But it's also who cares? I only murder people in gloves that fit perfectly. It's such an
I
unnecessary.
know.
Well, if the glove didn't fit like
I thought it was retarded.
it's so it's such a stupid.
I know.
Like it'd be different if like the glove physically couldn't get on his hand.
Right.
If it was like this and he's I can't doesn't go on.
Or if you can fake it, you can be you can put something on and go, don't fit. I
I'm
can't get it, and your hands are like this.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm really trying.
I heard somebody said that he was on arthritic medication from playing football.
I'll probably made
And
him
so
like
and so for a couple of days before it, he stopped taking it.
Oh, so he was all like,
His
swole
hands
up.
are swollen up.
it's like
He's super smart.
He's taking
Yeah.
he's
I'd be
taking
like, yeah,
he's
you're gonna
like,
try on the gloves on Friday.
Yeah.
he's
let
actually
me prep.
Yeah.
he's taking inflammatories.
Yeah.
He's trying to like
Instead of anti.
I would just stop taking the medication, eat a bunch of cottage cheese. OJ looks fat.
looks fat as fuck.
all bloated.
All right, anyways, that's
I know. I always hated the glove. I
hated
just thought
the
it was.
gloves.
It's.
I know.
It's the most piece of evidence that literally that needs no. There's no proof.
Yeah, but it was just visually. It's because
Yeah.
it's all filmed, and everybody's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. But it's not. But his DNA is in the gloves.
I know.
Doesn't matter. They don't fit. It's like, what the fuck? So then August 15th. So July 6th, the prosecution rests. August 15th, the controversy over possible conflict of interest concerning Judge Ito. Marcia Clark asked Ito to recuse himself from the Simpson trial. Did they say why he had to recuse himself?
Yeah, so he was strange. He wanted to be on Letterman. He wanted to
he's
be
like-
on
he's
this.
trying to be
He
in the-
wanted to be on that. His girlfriend at the time also knew Mark Furman, and he didn't disclose it ahead of time.
Oh, I see.
Honestly, though, she was a police officer, so it's not
Of
like
course,
you don't know
she
them.
knows another police
Yeah,
officer.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of reasons. He was a little bit loose. He wanted cameras. He wanted all these different things. And it just kind of fucked the whole trial up.
He wanted to be a celebrity.
I
is
know.
what he
He's
wanted.
like, I'm trying to be famous.
Yeah.
So then August 16th, Clark changes her mind on the Ito recusal. So Furman was the detective who found a bloody glove on Simpson's estate.
Yep.
This glove was later determined to be the mate of another glove found at the I love this, the mate. The mate of another glove
heard it like
found
that.
at I know, like they were in love. Found at the scene, it was soaked in the blood of both victims. That's a good thing, soaked.
Yeah.
It was soaked in the blood.
Dude, you know how she got fucking cut.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't
there would
realize
be
that.
blood
I didn't realize
so
that
much.
her head was almost cut off. That's fucked up. So Simpson's defense team argued that Furman planted the glove on Simpson's estate following the murder. To bolster their excerpts of the tapes were admitted as evidence. Outside the presence, I'm assuming these are tapes regarding Furman.
Yeah.
Outside the presence of the jury, Furman was questioned by the defense team, invoking his Fifth Amendment right on all questions, including the question, did you plant or manufacture any evidence in the case? Why would you plead the Fifth on that?
Yeah, this is the part that everybody hated.
You could
Well,
just be like,
because
I
I think-
no, I
because
did it.
Because I think once you plead the fifth,
Once you
have
plead
to,
it, you got to keep.
No,
you don't
you
have
don't-
to.
you don't have to.
Oh, you don't have to.
You don't have to, but you
I
just
thought for
chose
some reason
to.
you have
No,
to.
most people don't.
Okay.
Most people don't really know what the Fifth Amendment is. The Fifth Amendment is your right to not say anything that will incriminate you in a crime. So that's why if you're testifying,
Yeah.
you have the right to not incriminate yourself in another crime.
Right.
So therefore, you plead the Fifth. So by pleading the Fifth is almost like, why don't you just say no?
Yeah.
I didn't. And so
I know. Well, once he keep going, and then you'll see. What,
So earlier in the trial, Furman testified that he had not used the word nigger. I'm allowed to say that. African descent. Within the last 10 years. It's such a loose question. I love that.
I know.
The last 10
I
years,
know,
Furman.
right? So remember, that was at the beginning. At the
Yeah.
beginning, they said, "Did you do this in the last
And he,
10
and he
years?"
said no.
No.
He said no to that. Why did you say no to tampering with the
Yeah,
evidence? What the fuck? He's like, they'll never know what I said. Idiots. Which proved later to be perjured testimony with the admission of the tapes. His recorded words, as well as his denial, was a major blow to the prosecution's case. So he was probably at some like backyard barbecue, just like dropping N-bombs all over the place. Like. So on August 29th, Furman tapes played in court with the jury absent.
Yeah.
Who were the fucking played to then?
Yeah.
to the judge and you know what I mean? So that they can hear all the tapes. It was like 14 hours of tapes.
I got you.
And he was being interviewed.
What are these tapes from, by the way? Like,
they're just an interview of years earlier of somebody was writing a script for a movie, and they were interviewing police officers about how they treat people.
Fucking idiot!
So he honestly, it was dark racism. Like it was.
It was like he felt it.
Yeah,
like,
no,
like
he
you
was
could tell.
like I hate him.
It wasn't a joke. Thing.
Yeah,
like
he's
a deep.
Yeah,
you know?
deep, like the real deal.
Klansman.
The real. You have to wrangle the animals, and he's talking about black people and
wow, what a Furman, real solid.
But he says it.
Guy.
I think there's a number, and I think he said it like 50 times.
Throughout the interview, 50 times.
Yeah.
So wait, was Furman giving testimony for like a Quentin Tarantino movie?
No, it wasn't even testimony. It was like for a screenplay.
Yeah.
It was like a bullshit screenplay.
Well, anyways, so yeah, those tapes came out. What a tard. You knew you did. Like, I haven't said anything. So then Judge Ito rules that the jury will hear 2 excerpts of controversial tapes.
Okay,
That's
so
on the 31st.
Yeah,
August.
so out of all of those tapes, he ruled that they're gonna play 2 excerpts, and they essentially just showed him perjuring himself and saying the N-word, and then you know what I mean, and that was it. Basically.
Yeah, God, this guy was an idiot.
Yeah. So then Mark Furman appears on the stand and he refuses to answer any question. He
Plead
said
the
all
fifth
the
for
fifth,
everything.
everything,
Oh well, yeah. At that point, he's
everything. Yeah.
I'm not going to make the same mistake and say and just
Yeah.
ruin my own reputation.
So September 7th, the defense announced that Simpson will not testify on his own behalf. And September 11th,
I think that was probably a smart play by
Yes.
his
Super smart play.
lawyers. They were, don't you fucking dare.
don't you dare speak.
Don't you
no
shut
speaking.
your mouth. He probably wanted to too. So, no, let me. I trust. I got this.
So the defense rests September 11th, 1995.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think not.
Yeah. So both defense and prosecution rest their cases. In a statement to judge waiving his right to testify, OJ said, "I did not, could not, and would not have committed this crime."
I mean, could not. I mean, he had the means. He was in the area.
September 26th, Marcia Clark and Darden deliver their prosecution closing arguments. The next day, Johnny Cochran deliver his defense, the closing arguments. And Cochran, I watched his closing arguments, and he goes hard. Yeah, he goes hard on Furman and the police. He compares Furman to Adolf Hitler in his closing speech.
Shit.
I mean, that's a little much because Adolf Hitler murdered 6 million
I had the same
people.
thing. I like your speech, and then he said that, and what the fuck?
I mean, you could have he's like the fucking Klansman back in the that's a more
That would
suitable.
have been, yeah.
I didn't like it, but
Because Hitler is the only piece of shit who's that big of a piece of shit. Like, come on, let's be real.
So then his famous words are in there, and some people say this is what resonated in the minds of the jury, and it was, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, famous words.
Famous words.
But it's the worst piece of evidence.
I know.
I know,
I
but
know.
it's
the lousiest piece of
It's a nice
evidence.
jingle, though.
Yeah, and it just starts carrying weight. It starts taking a life of its own.
Like, damn,
Sunday.
that shit fucking rhymed. Yeah. That was the original. That was the first rap lyric.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
If it don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah.
I know it's true. It's like the jingle.
It's a jingle.
Yeah, it's
a
fucking
jingle.
like O'Reilly.
Why do we know that? You know, we know that.
I've never forgotten that shit.
Okay,
Never will.
So September 29th, 1995, the case then goes to the jury to deliberate.
I wonder how long did it take him to deliberate
So
this shit.
the trial was 8 months. So
Imagine getting paid minimum wage.
Everybody thought
sequestered.
everybody thought they were going to go and they were going to at least take a couple days.
Yeah.
So they went on vacation. They went to Catalina Island.
Catalina wine
They went
mixer.
all these different places, and 4 hours. They deliberated for 4 hours.
Really?
See, that's ridiculous.
I would have
4 hours.
I thought you were going to say 4 weeks.
Me too.
You can't even go over if you were in the jury and you were
I
like,
can't even discuss
We
all the
can't even
information.
finish this podcast in 4 hours.
you can't.
I was 3 hours with the podcast.
Yeah, that is the best point I've ever heard. So
How long it takes us to get 1 hour of content is mind blowing.
So literally the next day, the jury comes out, and you guys have all seen it. You've seen the end where it's we the jury find Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of.
But the thing is, like,
of murder.
Fucking 4 hours. That's absurdly
Isn't that crazy?
fast.
No.
Why?
That's absurdly
Why?
fast.
I saw one interview with. I saw 2 interviews. Not a lot of the jurors spoke later, like about.
I bet not. They probably felt guilty. They're like,
But 2 of them did, and one of them said that it's not that they didn't believe that he didn't do it. They didn't believe the prosecution proved it. That was the quote from one of the jurors. Because you have to be 100% in a criminal murder trial.
Right,
you have to
right.
be all 12
Beyond
of
a
those
reasonable
guys.
doubt.
Beyond a reasonable, all 12 of them have to say yes.
Yep.
I just think that
that
and
was
that's why I
one.
thought it would have taken so long. It's like
No,
everybody needs to be
at
on,
least one person would be. Let's take dinner.
let's
Let's take
just,
dinner.
I gotta poop, and then we're gonna reconvene, and then we'll discuss this.
Think about this. No.
Yeah. Hector, let's get some coffee. I don't know, Hector. Sorry.
It's probably
So
guy
then
actually
the other person who interviewed said that they believed that it was revenge for Rodney King,
believe what was revenge for Rodney King.
That they let him off.
letting him off.
Revenge to the cops for
Yeah.
what happened to Rodney King.
Oh,
The cops got acquitted.
the other juror.
Right,
said
So the
that?
black man now got acquitted.
That's right.
The little thing about that is Rodney King didn't die.
Yeah,
And
I know.
Rodney King did get decapitated
Yeah.
and stabbed 50 fucking times.
Yeah, but remember, it was
Can't we
3
all
years
just get
before.
along?
It was 3 years right before this happened. And there was still so much tension going on. So that could be a thing. That could
2
be a
years,
thing.
actually.
Oh, okay.
2 years. Yeah.
I
But
just-
yeah, I know your
See,
point.
that's why I'm telling you. At 4 hours, that's ridiculous. With the amount of evidence
No,
against
that's
him, it
ridiculous.
is
I know, that's
fucking
ridiculous.
impossible.
I
4
agree.
hours. The trial
agree.
took
I
fucking 8
agree.
months.
I agree.
Fucking 4 hours later.
At least grant them the time to consider it.
Yeah.
Even think of Nicole and Ron. Maybe we should take the weekend, jurors.
No, they don't give a
You know
shit
what I
about.
mean?
No one gives
they're
a
like-
shit about
yeah.
them.
They're like, we want to go.
I know. That's,
Yeah, they were probably
We're
like,
out.
My,
"Is it
my
8
thing is like,
months?"
Get
I guarantee
me
they were
outta
like,
here.
they were so over it. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. He's innocent. let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, what's even probably more fucked up is they were probably just like, let's flip a coin. 50-50. Let fate decide. Fate will decide. Orenthal James.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty atrocious, and they should be ashamed of themselves, honestly, the
It's
jurors.
just like, yeah, even just as imagine being the family members of Nicole and
know.
and the other guy.
Ron?
Really,
I know.
like you could have.
Even Ron wasn't even part of it.
He was just a waiter.
know.
He was being a good
Like,
Samaritan. Here's your glasses.
Oh, God, the worst.
Fuck.
So there you go. So he was acquitted, and when it happened, there was celebration in the streets, and it was this roar of
I don't remember
justice.
that. Wow, okay.
Yeah, justice for OJ, and you know what I mean?
Well,
like
see,
it was
this
like
is-
a whole thing.
I think this is where this type of stuff it starts to overshadow basic humanity.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm in no way condoning like what happened to Rodney King. It was fucking bullshit. They should have, and those guys getting off is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's like the classic adage: two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not some sort of victory that you quit OJ.
Yeah,
He's on
no,
trial
it's just-
he's on trial for murder. Try him as
Yeah.
Try him as a human who's on trial for murder.
Yeah.
Who's a fuck if he's black or white or brown or
Right.
Indian? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Handle things as they are. Handle that LAPD problem as its own situation.
Right.
Those guys should go to jail. But I don't know. I feel like this is
The riots were enough to get their revenge.
to me. It's like political warfare. This political warfare shit. And it keeps happening. It keeps fucking happening.
And it's wild to me that the prosecution fucked up so bad.
It's
Wild.
crazy.
Right? Okay, I'm just going to do a quick recap here.
All the fuck ups.
You have a ex-husband who was charged with abuse.
Yep.
Called 9 times.
9 times.
9 times
Yeah.
for abuse.
Pictures of her battered to
Yeah,
shit.
in the hospital, pregnant.
Right? Okay. Big man.
And the 9th time it was documented by the
Yeah,
LAPD,
that's right.
right? That
That's
she
right.
was saying he's going to kill me.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no alibi.
Nope.
None.
Yep.
Can't account for his whereabouts. Right?
His blood in his
Rage.
Bronco.
Yeah.
There's blood everywhere.
He's got a cut on his hand.
Homie was stabbed 70 fucking times.
There's blood in his Bronco. There's blood leading to his steps.
to his house, yeah.
Blood in the seat, the bottom of his car,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's Nicole's blood and Ron's blood and his blood.
His blood's at the scene. His blood's at the murder scene.
The glove is at his house,
Literally
2 miles away.
covered in blood.
Soaked in blood.
Soaked.
In his house, he has blood on his socks in his room.
It's like,
Okay, we're not even done. Then he writes a suicide note because he can't deal with it anymore.
yeah. With
Smiley
smiley
face.
face. Then proceeds to
Christ.
not show up to when he's supposed to remand himself to court.
Then he runs.
Yeah.
He runs. And he says he's going to kill himself or whatever. But in reality, he's got cash, passports, disguises.
It's disguises.
And he's got a getaway driver.
He's got disguises. I know the best part. I forgot about the fake mustache.
Yes.
The fake goatee.
Who is he supposed to be? Hello.
I know.
My name is Juan.
Then we haven't even gotten
Norbert.
into it, and this is next. This is next episode. He wrote a book called "If I Did It."
Yeah, but that was after. We're still
I
talking.
know,
right now,
but
we're
I'm
still
just
talking about
that's
how
true.
the hell can
That's
this
true.
jury.
That's true. At that moment, what?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, that's
It
true.
just- it's-
There's just so much evidence.
It's just such a
That's
slam
just so
dunk.
much evidence.
It's just such a. I think the biggest mistake is allowing Furman to be.
Furman fucked it up,
Furman
right?
fucked it hard.
They
If
just
Furman
fucked it up. That's
because
if Furman-
he's the guy who found the
If
glove.
Furman wasn't
and
involved,
so-
I don't think. I
You don't think
think
it would have happened?
I think they would have had a much harder time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
So is that
you're
just bad luck? Is that just bad luck that Furman happened to be the guy who found the glove?
No, I think it's that's why I think the LAPD was so fucked at the time.
Yeah,
like,
they were
if it
all-
wasn't Furman, it would have been some other piece of shit guy.
Yeah, that's
and then
true. That's
They,
a good point.
They look into their background, and then you just can't believe.
Yeah,
when
but
they-
good point.
Yeah.
somebody else wouldn't have been on tape for hours talking about dropping the N bomb.
black
Sergeant Coons. You know?
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
You know what to do with them blacks? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Crazy.
How did you not remember you did that?
He knew.
And then it's just
said
please-
the end with the left hand. Of course not.
Yeah.
Have you tampered with evidence? I plead the fifth.
And then what did he have, like 4 hours of dropping the N-bomb on tape?
It's like, oh my god.
and then
Wasn't
it's
like
the
he just
fifth, and then it's the
randomly-
fifth straight from there,
Yeah.
so it makes you look even
He's
worse.
like, yes.
And
They just messed it up. They fucked
messed
it
it
up.
I
man.
do
They
think,
fucked
like-
it up. And I think the jury, basically, like what they said, is they didn't prove it. Okay, fine.
I've actually formulated some new
That being
opinions
said, if
that
I
we'll
was
talk
part of
about
that
in
jury,
episode
I would
three.
still be. No.
Let's talk about it for more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend.
Shit.
Let's just make him seem like it's like a legit.
What if?
You can't even watch Lord of the Rings in 4 hours.
You can watch 1.2 movies of Lord of the Rings.
It's insane. Anyways. All right, well, that's...
Let's end up part
part two.
Part three is...
So part three, part three, we're going to go into If I Did It. It's the book that he wrote about his quote unquote, if he did do it, this is how he would have done it.
It is the most brazen shit.
It's so retarded.
It's so
It's retarded. It was one of the hardest books I've ever gotten through. Not because of how riveting it is and how horrible it is, but how much bullshit it is.
It's just such bullshit.
Then we also have his other trial, his civil trial, and his robbery trial that he went to jail for.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then
he like robbed himself.
yeah, and then actually. And then the conspiracies.
Yes.
So, thanks guys.
Yes.
Make sure to tune in on the next one.
Yes, please tune in, leave your comments. Love to hear thoughts. If you just think that we're all racist, even though we're so diverse here, as you can see from our videos. But yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday.
In the wise words of my forefathers, nighty night. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @conspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.